What's up this afternoon, everyone? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Fine Monday to y'all. Good to see you, good to see you, good to see you. Hey, what's up, Ben J. Co? Movies The Gathering, BG Stealth's Advanced Win, Team Sinos, Negro Jujio, Danny Void, Vincent. How's everyone doing? Hopefully everyone had a wonderful weekend. J. Morph, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big tip cheer for you. It is hopefully going to be Elephantastic. That is a good name for this deck. The Starman, welcome. XC Panda. Oh, welcome, 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 everyone. Any chance we get some Legacy Bunch of Brew against odds soon? Ooh, I'm sure we'll have some Legacy at some point. Yeah, so I would like to do some at some point. Destroyed, welcome. Good to see you, good to see ya. So today, I mean, it's another historic day. We started new historic last stream. We didn't get to Hamza counters, so we got to start off with Hamza counters because I promised we would. Also got a couple other decks that I wanted to check out. Oh, welcome to the Fishbowl for the 9th month. That's absurd. Thank you for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So Hamza counters first, and then Cube April has been talking to me on Twitter and telling me about their Emergent Ultimatum combo deck for Historic. That, I mean, it's got Vorinclex, it's doing some of those shenanigans, so we might try some Sultai Ultimatum one-card combo. And then I kind of realized, you might remember this from a little bit ago. A little bit ago, we played a Fight Club deck with Phyrexian Obliterator, trying to fight stuff, make the opponent sacrifice. Well, a couple of things have changed that make me want to try a different version of this deck, because the deck was really fun and really sweet. One is Turgid. What's better than making your opponent sack all their permanents, making them sack them, and then stealing all your opponent's permanents? So that is one of the things. The other thing is, everyone's played Death Shadow, and Inscription of Abundance is actually like hilarious tech against Death Shadow, because you can make your opponent gain life equal to their Death Shadow or Scourge's power, and then it kills all their Death Shadows or Scourges. So this is another reason we can play like these fight spells in the main deck and have them actually be good even outside of fighting with Obliterator or doing that stuff. So that's on the list as well. But we're starting with Hamza counters. That is number one today. I don't know what to put in the sideboard for Legacy Treasonous deck. Yeah, probably just as much interaction as you can. The combo's a really sweet idea when it goes off. For anything to fight through counters. Movies The Gathering! Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Hey, what's up, Ben Cow? How are you? So that's the plan for today. Historic, checking out the new format, post anthologies, and then, oh my goodness, we're like a week and a couple days away from Strixhaven spoilers, so that's coming up. Time Spiral Remastered releases this weekend. There's always a million things happening in the Magic world. So we talk about all that stuff or anything else. Burn just folds to Obliterator. Yeah, Burn is not good at killing Obliterator. That is true. Hey, what's up, Sad News Bears? How are you? So that is the overview today. Let's do our reminders. Talk about deck number one. Start playing Magic. Then we can talk about our weekends and Strixhaven and Time Spiral Remastered or whatever y'all want to talk about. We'll have some fun this afternoon. So Replay YouTube. That's where we find all the old streams, including this one in the future. Normal YouTube. Budget Magic went up today playing some Modern with Egon in Stomping with Black Creatures. So that deck's actually pretty sweet. You should check that one out. Tons of other stuff on the YouTube as well. A reminder that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom. And I don't know, maybe you need some Time Spiral stuff still. Maybe you need a Lorthos. You can get it at cardkingdom.com. Even get a free Scoop Soldier sticker. Just let them know you want one in your order notes and they'll hook you up. So thank you to Card Kingdom for supporting the show. Ooh, a gift sub from Sad News Bear to Mario Man 920. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big tip here for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean, who doesn't need a Lorthos? Seriously. Lorthos is one of those cards where it kind of makes me yearn for the old days of Commander. Like, I don't see Lorthos anymore. Lorthos used to be a sweet Commander threat, but now Lorthos, we've gotten so many Commander sets, so many big things that are good in Commander, that I hardly ever see. Maybe if you're playing like Sea Creature Tribal or something, but it just doesn't show up anymore. Hey, what's up, Shizuki? How are you? I mean, yeah, you gotta have Mikaeus in this deck. Otherwise, merge page, tokens, t-shirts, playbets, get away to support the stream and the channel and the site. Donations, always appreciated, never required. $2 or more gets your message read on stream. Hey, what's up, Doug? Not bad. How about for you? Speaking of the Card Kingdom, getting my Modern deck in the mail today. Ooh, what Modern deck you getting, Team Sinzo? Hey, what's up, Chuck? Good to see ya. So yes. So we're starting with Hamza counter. So on one hand, it's a +1/+1 counter deck. I think every single creature in our deck interacts with counters somehow. Pelt Collector gets counters, Stonecoil Serpent, tons of counters, Micaeus, lots of counters and puts counters on everything, Luminarch Spire, counters on things, Voracious Hydra, counters on things, Conclave Mentor, double counters, Venerated Loxodon, counters on a bunch of things, but the exciting new aspect of this deck is Hamza, our Elephant Warrior. So Hamza it's 6 mana normally, but it gets cheaper for each creature we have with a +1/+1 counter. So in theory, we can be casting this for 2 mana, and then creature spells that we cast cost 1 less to cast for each creature we control with a +1/+1 counter. So that means if we can go wide and put a bunch of counters on things with like Micaeus, with our natural counters from our creatures, we can start casting really massive Stone Coils and Micaeuses and Voracious Hydras for very little mana, and even bigger thanks to Branching Evolution, doubling up the counters like a small fraction of a doubling season. Great henge to draw some cards, and that's essentially the deck. We're just like trying to build the biggest elephants possible and cast massive things and smash our opponent with them. Like, that is the plan, that is the hope, that is the dream, that is the goal. Is it going to work? I actually have not played this deck at all yet, so these are going to be our first games ever with this deck. +1/+1 counters have some potential. We'll see how good Hamza is. Like, that's what I mostly want to see. Like, is Hamza just a weird commander card that is not good enough for historic, or is Hamza like really busted and insane and a 2-mana 5/5 that is letting us do all this huge ramp stuff? So we're gonna find out. We're gonna give it a shot. So how was everyone weekend? Did everyone do anything sweet? Should Arboreal BG, should Arboreal Grazer be an evergreen creature? I'm gonna give the answer that you're not expecting, which is yes. Make it an evergreen creature, because then people will keep playing it even though it's horrible, and I guess that benefits me. I still will not play it. I mean, there are some decks I played it, but in general, it remains the same for the 6th month. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. We have a new donation from Shredrana. Nailed it. pretty close. Witness me. I took the Pioneer list you played in the before times and modified it back then to be better and made it for historic. Ooh, let me see. What do we have? Baked Colossi. Ooh, yeah. That is a really fun archetype. You get some sweet wrap stuff. You get Paradox as your combos. That looks super fun, Shay. I like it. Thank you so much for the donation, by the way. I guess we play first. Might as well. Arclight Nightingale. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. Here's a question for you. Should we play more best of one? That's something I've been wondering. I noticed. So I was just like kind of browsing around on Magic YouTube. Mr. Pizza Man, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. And I noticed that apparently, this is a little awkward, but Micaeus X1 doesn't grow Pelt Collector. Oh, a little worried about this being a control deck. So next turn we can Loxodon into Hamza, into Great Henge, but is that enough? We have another donation, 2 donations in a row. Movies the Gathering, $5 donation, opponent, removal. That is a sad variation. Okay. Well, I mean, the bad news, good lord. The bad news is if our opponent's just playing a ton of removal and they can just kill all of our stuff, then our deck doesn't really do anything. Our opponent is doing a good job of not letting us do anything by just having removal spells. Movies the Gathering, $5 donation. Love MTG Goldfish. Follow Movies the Gathering for Instagram movie MTG content. Shout out to Historic Gals I made Plat 1. Love the whole Goldfish crew. Well, Movies the Gathering, thank you for the donation. Good luck with... Oh, we gotta kill this. Oh, so awkward. Good luck with the Instagram. Well, pass the turn. And Irvok, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. All right, so here's my question. Yeah, this is tricky. Well, go to combat, attack, hit ya. Hamza doesn't do much if we can't get it on the battlefield, and so far that's been our issue. Loxodon. Countered. I mean, we're probably just playing into a Wrath anyway. Opponent ups. Why the unusual out for the stream? Wait, this is what we always stream on Mondays. Oh, is it? It might be that. Yeah, we had daylight savings time in the U.S., so it's an hour earlier than it later. An hour something. I don't know. Daylight saving time confuses me, but it is an hour. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But it is an hour different than before. Well, we're about to ferry away from scooping, I think. About it. Is Vertigrad Stronghold in this list? No. So the problem with Stronghold is... The problem with Stronghold is it comes into play tapped. And I think that we don't want any lands that come into play tapped. Hedrid Tribal from Tober's stream last week was fun to see the replay on the VOD. Yeah. Yeah, it was fun to finally troll Tomer a little bit. Opponents, making sharks, blah, blah, blah. Well, go to combat. Grow Aspirant. No attacks. Play the land. Play this. If it gets countered, then I think we're just dead. Well, alright. Fair enough. Well, not the start we were hoping for with +1/+1 counters. However, I imagine that that hardcore sweeper control is not very high on the list of decks that we want to play against, honestly. Pretty far down the list. Well, hey, we can bring in a little bit of good against control stuff, but run it back. Thoughts on banning Ras and MTG? I'd support it. Oh, nah, you gotta have Ras. I think Magic without Ras would just be Burning Tree Emissaries and Ember Cleaves, and it would be tough. Control is tough to play against when you're playing certain decks, I think. But it really depends on the deck list. Control has matchups that are not good as well. Well, Bassery is one of our better cards against control. So we do have some sideboard cards that are good. Do you say to play Heroic Intervention in the sideboard? No. We do have Unbreakable Formation, which I think is just better in a deck that cares about +1/+1 counters. It does the same thing of like fizzling a Wrath, but it also can put counters on things, which is synergistic with our deck. All right, Conclave Mentor. Pass the turn. Hey, what's up, Azabel? How are you? Doing well. Other than getting all of our +1/+1 counter stuff killed by our opponent, but otherwise doing well. Yeah, I mean, I think Wraths are necessary and healthy for Magic, so I would not want to see... Oh... I would not want to see Wraths banned. I think that would be a negative. I mean, I don't even... So here's my thing with control decks. I actually like playing control decks. We never play control decks because other people don't like them, but I enjoy playing... Alright, opponent has a Brazen Borrower. I enjoy playing control decks. And I think having control in the meta is usually a healthy thing. Opponent. Or removal spell. Well... Alright, Bassery time, I guess. Bassery. Tick it up. Pass the turn. Opponent taps. Absent welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. But, hardcore control decks also tend to punish shanky fun decks, which I think is why, it often is... Opponent has a Narset. I think is often why it can be frustrating on stream. Well, play Pellet Collector. Conclave Mentor. Counter on Conclave Mentor. Pass the turn. Niajak, welcome to the Fishbowl for the 27th month. Thank you for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. About it. Plays a land. Cycles a farmland. I mean, if we can kill this Narset, we're in pretty good shape. Opponent, ooh, nothing. Alright, well, play the land. Untapped. We gotta kill Narset, so let's play this. See if our opponent has a counter. Elephant time. Elephant down. Grows a Pelt Collector. Go to combat. Kill Narset. I mean, now things are kind of working at the moment. Both at Narset. Gotta get off the battlefield before it kills our stuff. Hey, thank you, Apes of Wrath. I'm glad you've been enjoying it. Narset down. Basri. Take up on the Elephant. Opponent's like, wow, they're not flashing Embrazen Borrower, so our opponent's just all in on drawing a Wrath. Even if they draw a Wrath, they lose to Basri. Like, they're not going to beat this Basri emblem. Alright. Well, land. Emblem. Basri. If there's a Tail's End, I swear, Nino Bambino, if you have a Tail's End, we are not friends. Opponent. Justice strikes our elephant, grows our other stuff. I don't, Luminarch Aspirant. Opponent. Rewinds. I mean, they're still dead. They can't beat the counter, so they're trying, but they can't beat the ultimate, so they are dead. They're gonna fight the fight, but there's no way they're gonna beat Basri emblem. Opponent cycles a Triome, getting more and more desperate. Yeah, grow the dorks. Hit you to 5. Do you have a Wrath? If you do, you live for a turn. If not, you are super dead anyway. Cycles a Triome. So many Triomes. And yeah, I think Justice Strike is even better now that a lot of people are playing Death Shadows. Because it is a clean answer to Death Shadow and Scourge of the Skyclave. So right now in specific, it feels like a pretty good removal spell. Had to stop watching the troll video. It's Savella, not Savala. Well, that's unfortunate. S and V are not letters that should be together. Last Breath in Standard. Last Breath was good last time it was in Standard. Alright, we'll try this. We'll see. Opponent, land. Land. Yeah, let's play Stone Coil. Probably playing into a Wrath, which we don't have an answer for at the moment. Oh. I wonder if Condemn is considered too good for Standard. It is only 1 mana, which I could see Wizards freaking out. Well, get in, hit ya. Down to 19. No Wraths, no Wraths, no Wraths. JP the Pirate. Isn't Saga Mill a Standard deck? Yeah, the troll deck actually seemed pretty interesting. Opponent, Banishing Light. Hits the Conclave Mentor. Well, we draw more lands. Machias, X2. Hit ya. Maybe this is just Elephant Tribal. Maybe we should call this Elephant Tribal. We do have 2 elephants, which is probably more than any deck in the history of Magic has ever had. Gruul Control. Let me see, Team Kessig. Boot it. Has a Wrath again. Well, Pelt Collector. Pass the turn. Oh, boo. Yeah, that looks fun, Charlie Man. Okay, and game. Opponent takes down to fair. Wow, opponent is playing Control in a way I've never seen anyone play it before, but it's gonna work here because Control is really good against our deck. I'll grow our stuff past the turn. Any thoughts on upgrading the troll deck to make it as competitive as possible? I mean, I think the big thing is you gotta have a sideboard. Like, that is the next step. The main deck actually felt pretty solid, I think, in general. I think that Loxodon on Smiter was the only playable elephant in Standard. Opponent, going to untap. Oh, jeez. Well, okay. Sure. Alright. Well, let's play a different matchup. Let's play a different matchup. I feel like that matchup doesn't really say much about our deck, other than if our opponent has like 10 Wraths, we're probably not gonna win. How many people do you think take janky no sideboard decks up the ladder to get to Beaver Dream? I mean, maybe people try, but I don't think it's that easy to win 6 matches in a row with like Ashiok Planeswalker deck. I still do not necessarily completely believe that all those decks get 6 wins. Like, I don't know, didn't Wizards publish a deck list that was all lands one time? Like, there's gotta be something that that is a little wonky with the deck selection system. Cause I mean, or else it's like the freakest of freak things where it's like, oh, 5 lands. Oh no! Why does this Leaded Mulligan thing work out for Burning Tree Emissary players, but not for Hamza? I don't get it. Alright, so we have a couple of cards in our hand, which I guess is better than literally no cards in our hand. Land, go. But I mean, Urfunk, how would you explain a deck that was 60 lands getting 6 wins in a row? Like, there's got to be some weird thing that happens. Like, it's got to be like somehow someone sits down and has 6 people in a row disconnect and concede to them or something. Because there's no way that 60 basic lands could actually win a real... Yeah, so there's got to be some weird fluky things where, like, maybe you win one game with your Ashiok Planeswalker deck, and then you have 5 people in a row that scoop because they got to go get their dinner or something. It's gotta be something like that. Well, now we're seeing the downside of Hamza, which is if we mulligan and have no creatures, I mean, this game, I assume, is just straight up over, honestly. Yeah, okay. Hey, thank you, McGregsar. Yeah, you gotta try to queue during dinner time. Or, like, a time when children have to be put to bed. Maybe when, like, kids get out of school or something. If you're going to try to win with 60 lands, I think the time of day is probably essential. Opponent, many cards in hand. Plays a land. Kroxa. Sure. I feel like our deck can do sweet things, too. So far, we have not got to play that much Magic in either of our games. Thoughtseize. Well, alright. I'm tempted to concede. We know Kroxa's coming back, and I don't think there's any way that yeah, let's go to the next one. There's no way we're going to beat a Kroxa, so... Yeah, Tibalt's Trickery could play a role in it as well, for sure. So is our opponent a Death Shadow deck? Maybe. So we probably need... We can only bring in so many sideboard cards is the issue. Like, we want Graph Digger's Cage. I guess we can try to just, like, trim stuff? So we need Graph Digger's Cage. Maybe we just go Baffling Ends. Maybe that's as good as it's going to get. Run it like that. Yeah, you do blank Thoughtseizes with a 60 land deck. For Hybrid Man and Commander, if they allow it, then I'd be able to play Reaper King and Beseech Queen of my mono blue Sakashima Changeling clone deck. No. No, your deck would still have to be the color of the cards. I think that, and honestly, like, I guess if they did word it that way, sure. Like, I don't know. If you're gonna spend 6 mana to sort of tutor, or 10 mana to cast a Reaper King, then go for it. But my thinking would be, I guess colorless. White mana would have been sweet. I guess colorless. I'm afraid to mulligan. We tried it last time and it just lost us the game. Last time it just straight up killed us. Well, I guess in this game, not mulliganing is going to straight up kill us. Boom. 18, look out opponent. Yeah, colorless / colored hybrid, I guess, is a little bit weirder. But in theory, like, here's the argument for hybrid. The intent of hybrid design is that the cards are monocolor for each color. So when you look at Kitchen Finks, it's technically by commander rules, it's a Selesnya card. But really by every other conceivable... Oh my goodness. Wow. But really by every other conceivable metric, it is a mono white card and a mono green card that happens to be the same card. So Commander just has the way that Commander decided to make up the color identity rule, I feel like is against the intent of the design of hybrid cards. Like, I mean, if you read articles about actual, like, oh boy. All right. Let's pretend these first 2 games didn't happen. The first game, we didn't do anything. This game, we literally mulliganed to 5 and then did not cast a land. But if you read, like, articles about how hybrid mana is designed, that's exactly how it is. So I think that's my argument. And the other argument is, I don't think it hurts anything. Like, if you look through the hybrid cards, some of them would be, like, okay to play in, like, certain archetypes. But one of the arguments I think people use against hybrid is, oh no, they're going to show up in every deck and we're going to have more staples. But if you actually read the hybrid cards, most of them are pretty medium to bad. Like, you'll have some that are like, oh, now I can play this in my janky tribal deck because it's officially in the colors. But I can't think of any, like, I looked through all the hybrid cards, and I could not find any that are, like, ultra staples, or if they could be played in both of their colors, would be ultra staples. I don't think Loxodon is good in this deck. We don't have many 1-drops. I mean, we have 8 1-drops. 8 1-drops seems like a reasonably high amount. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of my thinking. Oh boy, more Death Shadow. Well, good news is this is a hand that can actually cast Magic the Gathering cards, which makes me feel a little bit more comfortable. We've seen a lot of opponents mulligan and have it work out for them. What if they brought Tron Lands plus Expedition Map plus card in Historic Anthology 5? I mean, I think that would just destroy Historic, right? If you actually could Tron, like, wouldn't that just immediately be the only game in town? I would assume. It would be a good troll for me, but I also think it would absolutely devastate Historic and almost inevitably lead to bannings. I mean, I think there's actually a pretty strong argument that Tron I don't really understand. Yoda Man for the 35th month. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. I really don't understand. Huh. I really don't understand the thinking of how Wizards handles fast mana. Like, it kind of blows my mind. Like, Simeon Spirit Guide is apparently too good. But having lands that tap for 3 mana is not? Like, I don't know. I don't know. What is and is not safe when it comes to fast mana is kind of mind-blowing to me. Opponent gets in with a Death Shadow. About it. Thinking. Play Conclave Mentor. Play the land. Grow Aspirant. Hit our opponent. Down to 5. If we can get our opponent low enough, they just can't attack with the Death Shadow, which would be a good thing. Or they attack and we can chump, and then they have to chump, something like that. Hey, what's up, David? How are you? Historic is fine, but I really need a Pioneer type format on Arena. Each anthology moves the format more towards Legacy and away from Pioneer. Well, I mean, I think the plan is that it is going to be on Arena. The Bad Sticky! Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Opponent. It says, Boy, an extra land would be spectacular right now. Well, Machias. Grow Luminarch Aspirant. No attacks. Ooh, being able to play 2 things would be so nice. So nice. About it. Thinking. Oh, it's going to be so close. The Bat Sticky! Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super review. Never have time anymore to catch you live, but love the highlights. Oh, well, thank you, Bat Sticky. No Teamer Battle Rage in Historic, so we don't have to worry about that. Opponent. More Shatter Skulls. More passing. Still not a land. What we would give for a land. Now, this time we're going to grow the Mentor. Pass the turn. Oh! Yeah, I think we would have won by now if we could have just drawn land number 4, but... Opponent draws another Death Shadow. Does not have Luris mana, though. Tap land. Passes. Well, there's the land right on time, quote unquote. Oh, Lord. Lord, Lord, Lord. I'll play Branching Evolution. Grow the Mentor. Pass the turn. Opponent passes. Hydra's not... Hydra would be a 3-3. Or if we double the counters, a 6-6? That's still not that big. Not big enough. Opponent. We really need to be able to play multiple things, which is the issue we're having. Well, kill Death Shadow. Purple Saurus Rex, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Opponent. Luris. Watch him have untapped black mana. That would be bad. That would be real bad. Yeah. Opponent didn't realize. We realized they did not have the black mana, but. Opponent. Runs out a Seagate Stormcaller. Wow, this deck is a pile of stuff, isn't it? Play as a land. Well, Great Henge is good. Play Great Henge. Voracious Hydra. Fight Lurrus. Oh! Okay, it's up to a 7/7. That's fine. Hit ya. Poe's got a chub. Oh, okay. Yes, yes. Opponent gaining life with Lurrus might cost them this game. If they didn't gain that life, this would be lethal and a removal spell would kill us, but because Lurrus had lifelink and it fought the Hydra, they're going to lose. Young Pyromancer, opponent passes. Well, Conclave Mentor gets big. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yes. Let's fight a Death Shadow. It's working. I mean, once we get going, that's a 16/16 for 5 mana. And now we get our Death Shadow tech. We get Inscription of Abundance, which is our biggest piece of tech for Death Shadow. If we can do one thing in this entire stream, if we go 0-10, but we get to kill a Death Shadow with Inscription of Abundance, I'm going to be thrilled. Like, that's gonna make it all worth it. Yeah, that's roughly like most Eldraine cards. 16/16 for 5. No Hamza, though. Alright, we're going to trim a Loxodon or two. It seems like a hard matchup to tap our dorks. Going on one Hamza, going on one Mikaeus, and one Branching Evolution. Let's try it like that. Overall, do you think the new anthology was good for Historic or just eh? So I think the new anthology... Ooh, this might be our time. So the new anthology, if you really look at it, what do we have? We have Thraben Inspector and Death Shadow as staples. Then there's, like, the Hamzas, Collected Conjurings, cards like that that are definitely not staples, but are fun to build around. And then there's a bunch of stuff that's kind of just irrelevant, more or less. So I think it's one of the weaker... Oh, I hate Arcanist. I think it's one of the weaker editions... Oh, we're going to get so wrecked by this Arcanist. I think it's one of the weaker editions of Historic Anthologies, but I think that it's a fine addition to Historic. Opponent. Oh, jeez. Claim the Firstborn. Grows the Arcanist. Okay, so opponent's deck is not what I was thinking. Opponent's actually just Jund Sacrifice, or Rakdos Sacrifice, that is also playing Death Shadow. So it's like Sacrifice that's killing itself. So we should be bringing in Graph Digger's Cages, I guess, based on what we've seen so far. I'll play Mikaeus. Pass the turn. And maybe we're not bringing in these Inscription of Abundance because apparently our opponent's a Sacrifice deck, not a true Death Shadow deck. I mean, they can steal it, but what are they going to do with it? Jeez. Come on now, Magic Gods. Come on now. New player here, literally just started yesterday. Are there specific packs that I should be picking up to try to start building? So the most recent set is Kaldheim. And then the set before that is Battle for Zendikar. Those are the two sets that will remain in standard for the longest amount of time. So I think that's a good place to focus if you're planning on playing the game for a while. About it. Yeah, that was a huge blowout. Yeah, we definitely need Grafdigger's Cage. No. Let's make something big for our opponent to inevitably steal and sacrifice. Oh, did I say Battle for Zendikar? Zendikar Rising, I mean. But yeah, so those are the two most recent sets. So I would probably start there, because the rest of the sets in Standard, like Ikoria, Core Set 2020, Core Set 2021. What is this deck? Drown in the... You're just... Okay. Drown in the Lock. YOLO'd. Jeff Riptide, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup for you. Thank you. Opponent. Huh. Yeah, I don't know about this. Loses a life. I mean, opponent's going to win this one by the looks. Kind of a unfortunate hand for our opponent to have for us. Opponent goes attacking. It's us. Yeah, well, that is the problem with Hamza. Hamza needs a bunch of creatures on the battlefield, and if we can't stick creatures, Hamza, I don't know. We got to play a couple more games with it, but so far, I kind of feel like Hamza is the worst card in this deck by a pretty significant margin. So far, Hamza has mostly just sat in our hand and made us sad. Opponent goes to combat, going to attack. Well, I mean, this, you know what, we're not even going to show our attack. We're going to go to game 3. I don't think we want to show Inscription. They can just recast Dash Shadow anyway. Well, Hamza is what we were built around, but so far it is not impressed. So far it is, So far it has not felt all that good. But I don't know, maybe it's just the matchups we played. We just keep playing against incredibly removal heavy decks. So the thing with Hamza is it's really good if we have 2 or 3 creatures on the battlefield with the counters. Then it's great. But if our opponent just kills our first thing, kills our second thing, kills our third thing like we saw there, then Hamza just does quite literally nothing. Like, it just sits in our hand because it costs 6 mana without support. So it might just be the matchups that we've played so far. Should make this deck Abzan for the Snake could be awesome. Yeah, I mean we have Alright. Yeah, we can look at it. I'm not sure what would cut. So part of the thing is, to make Hamza good, you want to have all these X-Spell things, like Mikaeus, Stonecoil Serpents, Voracious Hydras, which you wouldn't really necessarily want in another +1/+1 counter deck. So that's part of the... Boy, so much removal. So that's a part of the consideration. Like, if you're just playing Hamza because it exists, I don't think it's super exciting. So that's one of the other challenges. But maybe the deck is better just focusing on Branching Evolution and the +1/+1 counter theme and playing more things that are like individually good and less things that need support. Cutting Branching Evolution? I think Branching Evolution is incredibly powerful. Jund Panzerwerk, that sounds spicy. it. Red Horde Arcanist. Wow, this still isn't big enough. Oh boy. Well, that's disappointing. Oh my goodness. Does this mean we do nothing? So we can't play Hydra because it's not going to be big enough to kill Arcanist. Anything we play is just going to immediately die. Alright, well, I guess we do nothing. And Dreadhorde Arcanist is quite a magic card. The problem is by doing nothing, then our opponent can Thought Seize, Flashback Thought Seize. I wonder if Arcanist is too good. It does get disrupted by Graveyard Hate, but it was also just banned in Legacy. It's a card that Wizards has recently started printing so many of these one-card snowball cards. Like, way more than in the past. Like, here's a good comparison. Compare Dreadhorde Arcanist to Snapcaster Mage. They're both very powerful magic cards. The difference is Snapcaster Mage, you get to use it once. Dreadhorde Arcanist, if it goes unchecked, you get to do it every single turn. It just snowballs and wins the game. It's very similar to, like, Uro. Uro just also, like, if it stays on the battlefield, or Kroxa, or Oko. So I feel like that's one of the things that we've seen. Oh, more removal from hand? That's one of the things we've seen recently, is just all these cards that just self-snowball. And if they stick on the battlefield for, like, 2 or 3 turns, it's essentially just game over. And I think that's one of the things we've noticed is, like, I think that's one of the things that was talked about a lot in Standard, is it's very difficult to come back these days because there's so many snowball cards. So it makes it very difficult to... Alright, now we can play this. X2. It's a 4/4. It fights Young Pyromancer. It makes it very difficult to come back, I would say. Yeah, at least Priest, you gotta build around it to some extent, because you gotta have 2 other creatures to sacrifice, but that is definitely true, that if you can keep a Priest on the battlefield, it is probably going to win the game. But at least you gotta have 2 extra creatures. Alright, removal spell part 20, about it. If they actually have removal for Grafdigger's Cage too on this huge list of interaction, then we're probably done. Opponent gets and hits us. If Grafdigger's Cage sticks, we might be okay. Opponent, yeah. The Grafdigger's Cage row was huge. Hey, what's up, Dodos? How are you? About it. Passes. I'll play the land. One, two. Maybe we just play Conclave Mentor. Macias. Pass the turn. Hey, what's up, General Chow? Good to see ya. I think Arcanist would be a lot less powerful and historic without claim. Makes Village Rites so much worse. I guess that's true. Alright, opponent runs out of Luris. Until they deal with Grafdigger's Cage, though, they can't cast things from the graveyard. Opponent passing. Whew. Alright, that's a Hydra. 1, 2. See, now we're getting to see the... Now we're getting to see the payoff. I really think Branching Evolution is absurd. Kill Luris. Go to combat. Well, actually, do we even attack? Yeah, we probably attack. We could put 2 counters on everything, but opponents at a low enough life total that I think we just want to pressure. Because if they ever kill this Grafdigger's Cage, the whole House of Card comes crumbling down. Oh no. Opponent saying nice is probably a bad sign. Oh no. Opponent. Oh, okay. Nice is fine. It really meant nice. Play a land. Go to combat. Grow the Hydra. Attack, attack. Opponent blocks and blocks. The biggest Hydra kills our opponent. Wow, and they still die. Okay. Ho! 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 Okay. That was a good kind of nice. That was the kind of nice we like. What does this deck play that can kill Cage? Well, normally these decks, like our opponent was playing, know that Cage is really problematic for them. So normally they have Bedevils and or... Alright, let's look at this deck real quick. Maybe... So, what else is good with counters? So, alright, after these matches, what do we see? Abrade and Bedevil are 2 of the big ones that see the most play. Alright, so... Looking at this deck, I'm not ready to cut Hamza yet. I really want to give it a couple more chances to be good. On the other hand, Elephant number 2 has not been super impressive. Maybe there's a better thing we could be doing than that. So what else works with the counter theme that might be better? Well, we can't play Coco. Because this is a whiff, and this is a whiff, and this is a whiff, and this doesn't get hit. So we have like 12 creatures that can get hit by Coco. Scavenging Ooze is probably... could be good. That could be a good option. Yasharn in the sideboard could be good for Sacrifice. Although, if Sacrifice is trending more towards Death Shadow, maybe it's less important. What does this do? +1/+1. So this puts counters on things. Why does no one ever play this Ajani anymore? Just not good enough? I guess that kind of is a Coco problem, that we have a lot of stuff that you don't really want to reanimate because it's going to die. I feel like we would like another like Xy creature to work with Hamza, unless we're going to cut Hamza. Swarm Shambler wouldn't be bad. That might be the best option. Is there anything better? Incubation Druid's kind of cute. Pollen Bright Druid. Scavenging Ooze does seem good. Scavenging Ooze and the 1-drop Swarm Shambler seem like the best so far. Ooh. Wait, what's this do? Creatures with power less... Maybe we try this. That actually seems kind of sweet. This is just going to make all of our stuff unblockable. Think that's worth it? Or is it another card that... Or is it another card that's going to leave us disappointed on an empty board? I think that's been the biggest issue we've had, is it feels like a lot of our creatures are dependent on each other. I mean, we can play a Rishkar. Rishkar's not bad. It's not, like, super duper exciting to me, but I think it's probably decent. What are our thoughts? Going wider. How do we go wider? It might just be like, when it comes down to it, it might just be that like Hamza is not the way to go. Like maybe we should be playing like maxing out branching evolutions and just playing like Verdurous Gearhulks and stuff like that. That might be the more competitive, quote unquote, way to play the deck. Feral Hydra. That would give us another X creature. Hungering Hydra. So I guess the question is, like, do we want to build around Hamza, or do we want to build around +1/+1 counters? That's the That is always a question because we could add in like Ivy Elementals or Wildwood. Ooh, Wildwood Scourge is sweet. All right, let's try Scourge. Let's try it like this. Actually, you know what? Let's go down Rishkar. And let's go up Branching Evolution. And let's put I'm not ready to cut Hamza yet. It's not time yet to cut Hamza. Shalai, we're not bringing in very often. Baffling End, we have Inscription now. So let's bring in 2 oozes. All right, let's give Hamza another try. We got to give Hamza another try. If Hamza just is not worth it, then we can play oh, Vorinclex. You had me at Vorinclex. Restart. I don't know how we're going to find room, but we're going to put a Vorinclex in. Especially because I spent like $25 or something ridiculous to join a limited event and drop just so I can get the Phyrexian one. Oh, this might mean we have to cut one Hamza. Because we can go down one Voracious Hydra, I guess. All right, let's stick with Hamza for now. Yeah, you can always make room. You can always find room for Vorinclex. I don't know how often we're ever going to get to 6 mana, but when we do, look out. Sexy Clexy's coming. Oh. Okay, chat. Question for you. This is one of the topics that we talk about in the podcast today. I'm curious what you think about this, because it came up on Twitter yesterday. Is streaming during... Oh, no. This almost certainly means no creatures, all the rats in the world. So, this came up on Twitter yesterday. Do you think that Twitch chat is a form of outside assistance when it comes to tournaments? Like, how if you went to a paper tournament, you obviously can't, like, I don't know, have all the people hanging out behind you be like, hey, like, you should be doing this, or you should mulligan or something. Do you think that Twitch chat counts as outside assistance? Oh, they're actually an elemental deck. Okay, I feel much better about our life now. I thought they were going to be something that was going to kill us. Instead, they're elementals, so game on. Why is it not? Well, I guess I think there's a couple arguments about whether or not it's outside assistance. One would be, I think assistance by definition is helpful. So if Twitch is like, hey, why aren't you killing that Lotus Field with your Ghost Quarter? I don't even know if that can be considered assistance because is it actually helping? I don't think that it is. So that would be one argument. Ooh, well, go attacking. I mean, I love you. Is bad help still help? Isn't help by definition good or no? Like, if someone's like, I'm going to help you change your tire, and then they slash your spare tire accidentally, did they actually assist you? Is it? I'm actually not sure. I'm actually, like, seriously wondering if it is. Because I wouldn't think of that as help. Can help be bad? Can you get bad help? Or is help, like, by definition, a positive? Even outside of Magic, I'm actually, like, super curious how that works, because I'm not 100% sure. No, play the land. Grow Luminarchus Pirate. No attacks. Run out the elephant. Pass the turn. Alright, opponent. Oh, we're just going to get outvalued, aren't we? We need a great hedge. So, okay, so here's the second part of the question. Do you think it even is worth trying? Okay, so let's say, it seems like most people said they think Twitch chat counts as outside assistance. Do you think it is even possible or necessary or desirable to try to somehow not allow that to happen in Magic? As far as, like, arena tournaments or Moto tournaments. Like, is it even a battle worth fighting, or do you just accept that if it's a tournament where everyone's playing at their house and it's not like the MPL or something where they're bringing everyone in for the Mythic Invitational. Like, is it even worth trying to consider the possibility of enforcing it? Or do you just give up on the whole idea? Business inquiry and email. Wait, in my email? Well, I'll have to look for it. Um, Hardscales probably can exist in Pioneer. I mean, I think, like, overall, yeah, delay is something I refuse to do personally. Like, if the choice is between streaming with a delay and if the choice is between streaming with a delay and not doing the tournament, I would choose not doing the tournament. Because the reason I stream is to interact with all of you. Like, that is my number one reason for streaming. When it's Satellite with a $2 donation. Hey, Seth, just because some chat help is bad doesn't count the possibility that chat spiked good help. Imagine if you found out that you lost because someone pointed out something that your opponent that they were going to miss. Okay, so I can see that. I can see that. At the same time, though, for every time that happens, there's a time when you beat me because I'm having conversations about fluids with Twitch chat and only, like, paying 25% attention to the actual game of Magic that I'm playing. So I think, like, I would say if you are trying to win a tournament, I think you would actively want to play against a streamer. Like, I think that you will win more if you play against someone that's streaming, even if they have Twitch chat. I think you're going to win more playing against someone streaming than you would playing against someone who's not streaming. Like, if I look at my own win percentage, I win at least 10 and, like, close to 15% more if I'm not making content. Like, if I'm just playing by myself, my win percentage, I guess you would say, skyrockets. Like, my win percentage goes way, way up. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boy, that is a sweet turd. That is a sweet turd. Voraclex, the elephant, it is all coming together. Oh, done! Okay, elephant time! Elephant time! Voraclex might have been the missing piece. That might have been it. That might have been it. Ooh. I mean, I could definitely see, and I think it also depends on... And I think it also depends on the type of stream. Like, I can definitely see an argument where if you have a Twitch stream that's like 10 or 20 people in chat and they're all pro Magic players, that's certainly going to be an level of assistance. At the same time, if you have 1,000 people that are all talking in chat, it's really hard to keep up on, let alone pick out the good pieces of advice from among all the messages about fluids and about, the punch you made and, fatal pushing the slippery boggle. And I think here's the other thing. Here's the part I dislike about the conversation is I feel like focusing on Twitch chat is the wrong way to go about it. Like, because here's what I imagine. Like, let's say that you did something where, like, all right, for every arena tournament, we're going to get rid of Twitch chat. You're going to have it on, like, a 10-minute delay, or you're going to have some system to get rid of any interaction with the chat during the tournament. What's to stop someone from sending a Discord message to their friend, or even be running a private stream on Discord for a smaller group of people that's not on Twitch? Or what's to stop, someone who's a pro from living in a house with a whole bunch, a team house, quote unquote, that has, 10 pros that live in it, and just having those people sitting on the couch next to them playing their own game of Magic. So I feel like focusing on Twitch chat is kind of faulty, because I don't feel like that would actually solve the issue. Like, if there is an issue that we need to do something about, if there really is a problem that this makes tournaments, whatever, I feel like focusing on Twitch chat is not necessarily going to relieve that problem, because there's so many other ways you could get assistance. Well, no, I think my argument would be, and I don't even know if this is an argument, but maybe you just got to have a different standard. Like, what do other games do? So my thinking would be like, if it's like an arena open or some random arena qualifier, I think, not that cheating would be legal, but I think you just have to accept that people are going to play that in a more casual way. And then if you get to like the MPL level or something like that, then, or some pro tour level tournament, then maybe you get everyone and do like a LAN tournament, essentially. Kind of like they've done with Mythic Invitationals. Like, once you get to that point, maybe you got to take everyone and bring them all physically to a location where you have people playing on stage, on a LAN connection. You know that they're not... You know that nothing, whatever, untowards is going on. But... Pass the turn. Gross spiral. Boot it. Do I watch many pro streamers? Well, I think in the Magic world, at least, there's this weird disconnect in the Magic world. Maybe it's like that in other games that I don't follow too. The Blue Morph, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But I think the weird aspect of it is, and maybe we should have just fought the Risen Reef. See if we get punished for this. I'll grow the Mentor. Hit ya. But I think the weird disconnect that in Magic in specific, the people who are most popular in streaming are not in general also the most popular pros. Oh, yes. I can respect that. If we lose to Yarok, I'm perfectly fine with that. well done, opponent. I mean, hopefully we don't lose to Yarok, but if we do, I will accept it. Is there any way we can do everything? So this makes 2 mana. This doesn't come in with a counter, though. Well, I guess we gotta wait one more turn. All right, 1, 2... Voracious Hydra. We definitely got to kill the Risen Reef. Fight the Risen Reef. Get rid of the Risen Reef. Gross Stone Coil. No attacks. That's the turn. But yeah, Nassif would probably be the biggest overlap. I guess Ben Stark to some extent in the realm of limited, but Ben doesn't really play constructed for the most part, I don't think. But for the most part, like, the people that have the most viewers streaming are, like, Caleb and Numa and people who are, like, especially streamers. And then pros also stream, but usually Crokies, yeah. I mean, LSV would be in that realm, but he doesn't stream very much, Magic. Yeah. I mean, if LSV is streaming, he's usually number 1 or number 2. Like, so he obviously has a huge following, but LSV also does not necessarily stream as much as people who I would think of as quote unquote streamers. Wait, so this, whenever you put counters on a non-Hydra creature, all right, so we'll grow Stone Coil. And also Scourge. Oh, imagine if we had a Branching Evolution. No, Hamza's in here. We haven't drawn it yet, but Hamza's in here. We made some changes. Oh, okay. Wow, it could have been worse. All right, Healer of the Glade and lands. And probably more ultimatums. Yeah, protection for multicolor is kind of relevant about it. Ooh, Voracious Hydra. Well, Pellet Collector. This Wildwood Scourge is going to get big. Play a land. Ugh. Are we fighting Yarok? I guess we are. We lose our Hydra, but I guess it's worth it. Actually, you know what? Let's just make a big board and try to kill our opponent. Attack, attack. Kill Yarok the old-fashioned way by beating our... If they have another Genesis Ultimatum... Ooh, no Genesis Ultimatum, please. Risen Reef, could draw some cards. Yeah. Yeah. Draw those cards. Yarok going. Ah! Again! When you see your opponent Genesis Ultimatum and not put many... Oh, wow. Okay. And not put many permanents into play, you kind of assume that they were... That's probably what was happening. So opponent's going to draw their deck, essentially. But... do they survive? Like, sure, they're going off, but then what? They're at 9. Our stuff is big and tramply. We also have Sexy Klexy. They only have 1, 2, 3 mana. That's not that much. Well, let's see it, opponent. Opponent. What did they fight with? Oh, it's not... No. Yeah, that makes it a lot worse. Oh, we're probably dead now. Hey, what's up, Diva? Yeah, that was exactly what we needed not to happen. Vorinclex. Oh, into nothingness. Oh dear. Yeah, I mean this is super over. Yeah. Unfortunate. There's no way it works though, because they block and go to 19. Omnath. Yeah, alright. Yeah. Yeah, there's no way that we win there. I mean... What is... Hey, what's up, Baps? Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. Well, apparently we need to kill our opponent before they start casting Genesis Ultimatums. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that if they get to the Genesis Ultimatum part of the game, it goes poorly? Not me. Yeah, let's pass. About it. Tap land passes. I don't play a land. Conclave Mentor. Go. Hell, Great Hedge would be sweet if we can get it down. About it. About it. Big part not fighting Yarok with the wrong order trigger. Yeah, maybe. We still would have lost our big Voracious Hydra. And the Yara didn't really do a whole lot. So I don't know if the end result changes all that much. I don't think. Four. Well, yeah, let's play Macias as a 3-3. Pass the turn. About it. Crazy, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. But I'm saying if we fought the Yarok, it would have killed the Hydra because of Death Touch, right? No, I'm saying if we fought our big Hydra against the Yarok, it also would have killed the Hydra. So we still would have... Either way, we would not have had the big Hydra if I'm understanding things correctly. Alright. Actually, maybe we do this now. Alright, opponent. Our board's getting big. The Great Henge is coming. Is there an Elemental Wrath? The only bad news is they are getting close to the dreaded part of the game. The dreaded part of the game where Genesis Ultimatum can win all by itself. I mean, we are building a big board, though. We are. Favorite deck to play at Historic? That's a good question. A Shia. Interesting. Opponent's got a little bit of everything going on. Opponent. Pass. Oh my god. Well, Branching Evolution. Is a draw. Stone Coil Serpent. Go to combat. Attack, attack, attack. Well, this is gonna be a turn. This is gonna be a turn. Opponent blocks. Oh, you think that's gonna go well, don't you, opponent? You think that's going to go well? What's up, West Zoo? Branching Evolution's so busted. It is a Modest Mouse shirt. Oh. I just saw your Golo Bordello post. Yeah, that I hadn't listened to him in a long time, but they popped up my Spotify. Okay, no Hamza that game, but that was pretty sweet. I think Hamza would have been good that match, actually. Yeah, I briefly considered Proliferate, but there's not a ton of room in the deck is the biggest issue, I think. Well, we're 1-0 since we changed. That's good. Change the deck. Yeah, so for removal, in the main deck we have Voracious Hydra, and then the sideboard we have Inscription of Abundance, because it's pretty good against Death Shadow. If you had a chance to add 2 or 3 cards to Historic, which would you add? I don't know the answer to this. I know the answer. 1, Battle of Wits. I want a Battle of Wits, people. So I think Battle of Wits would be really sweet. 2, Heartless Summoning. I want Gitrog Monster to actually be a thing at Historic. It needs Heartless Summoning. We tried Dream Devour. It's not getting the job done. 3, Force of Will to turn it into Legacy. Because I think the future of Historic is to become the Legacy. I just want to see it all. Put Modern Horizons on here, make it legal and Historic, put Time Spiral Remastered, throw it all on there, and let Historic be the Wild West of Arena where anything goes. And then put Pioneer on to be the in-between format. Put Pioneer on to be the format for people that don't want to play the legacy of the format, or of the client. So yeah, that's the direction I'd like to see things go. Not gonna hit you. This might actually be a Hamza game. No, opponent. No. Fatal Push. So opponent's probably playing Death Shadow. Death Shadow has been surprisingly popular. Blood Moon. I love Blood Moon. I would enjoy having Blood Moon on the client, but I am also not convinced that that would be something that would be enjoyable for most players. I mean, if we end up going full on legacy mode, then sure, that'd be fine. Crocs that can't come back yet. Can we get down branching evolution? Yeah, let's do it. Let's get on evolution. Hit you for 3. Down to 12. Pass the turn. Oh, could be close. Could be close. Has anyone played Hamza Commander yet? Whoa. Whoa. Opponent sees a branching evolution. It scurries away. Maybe that was the problem the whole time, is we were just not playing enough branching evolutions. Branching evolution seems like our key card. All right, down 1 Hamza. Down 1 branching evolution. After singing his praises, we gotta make room somehow. Maybe one of these. Inscription. Oh. All right, we'll go down Sexy Clexy. Run it like that. Yeah, Hamza's from Commander Legends. So it is, I mean, it's new-ish in paper, but Branching Evolution is kind of like a discount Warren Klex. That is true. I think that I want more cards like that. Wizards has done a pretty good job with usually every historic anthology. You get like a Hidisugu Second Right or some other like janky build around against odds card. But I would like to see some of the old You Win the Game cards come on with Battle of Wits maybe being the number one. But I think more of those would be sweet. They would at least make for good against odds episodes. Ooh, speaking of good against odds episodes, we're historicing on Wednesday for against the odds, and we are harmless offering opt. Okay. Not convinced about the Grixis Shadow plan. I feel like people play Grixis Shadow because Grixis Shadow is good in Modern, but in Historic, many of the good cards are missing. So I'm not nearly as sold on Grixis for Shadow in this format. Ooh, let me see, Tadson. Yeah, we're not going to block. We will take our beats. Kind of excited about these branching evolutions. It seems like whenever we have branching evolution out, things go real... Ooh, yes. Wait, really? You too, eh? Alright, play a land. Branching evolution 1. Huh? Okay. Well, hit ya. I don't know what our opponent's deck's doing. Why did they bring a Grafdigger's Cage? Why did they not play their land before attacking? Why did they Shape Scoop? So many unanswered questions. So let's look at Death Shadow. Let's look at Death Shadow in Modern real quick. So Grixis Death Shadow in Modern. What are you missing? Also, a quick reminder before we elephant some more opponents that if you enjoyed today's stream, it's sponsored by Card Kingdom, and they're pretty awesome, and they got lots of Magic cards. So yeah, thank you to Card Kingdom for supporting the show. Unremitting, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So the big things that you're missing, I would say, well, this is kind of a weird Grixis Shadow build. All right, so the question is, why... My question is, what are you getting out of... Okay, this is what I would consider a traditional version of Grixis Shadow. So, what are you getting out of going into blue? In Modern, the answer is mostly Thought Scour, which is pretty good with cards like Snapcaster and so forth. But I think the biggest one is Stubborn Denial. Stubborn Denial is just a really good counter spell. I don't think that Spell Pierce or Ether Gust or whatever, they're fine cards, but I don't think they actually necessitate going into blue to the extent that Stubborn Denial does in Modern. So I don't know. I'm not. I guess it's fine. Like Opt is fine. The random cantrips are fine, but I don't know. Blue does not seem as powerful to me in Death Shadow and Historic as it is in Modern. Yeah, I wish we really need a Teamer Battle Rage, or maybe we don't need it, but Kaya's Onslaught's fine, but it doesn't give trample. That's what makes Teamer Battle Rage so good. Like, Double Strike with Death Shadow, it's okay. If you can, like, finagle no blocks or whatever, you can jank someone out. Trample with Death Shadow, it's fine. Gets in a little damage through blockers. But both of them together, that's what makes Teamer Battle Rage arguably one of the most powerful commons printed in the last, whatever, 7 years, 5 years, however long it's been since they originally printed it. Putting those both together, oh my goodness, it's insane. Hey, what's up, meme mixtape? Game on, meme. Good luck. Photography. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I think that if you want to go with a Thud and Fling plan, maybe just go with Kazul's Fury, because then you can kind of get it as a free roll in the mana base. So that's probably the direction I would personally head. All right, play this on white. Yeah, let's just play a Spirant. No push, no pushing. Oh, opponent, no pushing. All right. Boo and hiss. Pass the turn. Snow-covered forest. What is our opponent playing? I'll play a land on green. Wildwood Scourge, X2. Historic staple Wildwood Scourge to you. Hit ya. Down to 17. Oh! Opponent's also trying to branch. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. Hamza. Grow it. Stone Coil for free. Actually, do we even play this? It'll be a free 2/2? Yeah. It does grow Wildwood Scourge. So this will be a 6/6? But then we have nothing with the Great Henge? Let's wait till next turn. Better after we get down the Great Henge. And we don't have lethal either way. Pass the turn. Yeah, it does get way better with Henge out. Hey, what's up, Iron Tigrix? How are you? Opponent, Stone Killer Serpent as a 6/6. Well, Great Henge. Stone Coil Serpent. Do some triggers. Play a land. Win. I mean, our opponent can jump and go to 1, but how are they going to get out of it? Elephant Power! Hamza actually showing what it can do. This is an elephant game. We finally had Hamza going off. Okay, maybe our initial build just wasn't good enough. They haven't put Damnation into an anthology without me realizing it, right? Hopefully not. A deck to craft for a beginner, just starting off. Ooh. So I assume you're probably going to want a standard deck. Well, let's just go for the gold. One, two, three. One, two. Double it. That's a casual 5-mana 32-33. Opponent blocks and dies by a lot. so if you're looking for a deck to craft for the first time, part of the consideration is going to be price, and how many wild cards you have access to. I think in standard, like, the adventure decks have proven themselves to be good for a long time, but 45 rares is a high number, and they do rotate in the fall, like September. Rogues is like a little bit cheaper and also pretty good, but also widely hated. People do not like playing against that deck. So yeah, I think it really depends on how many wild cards you got. But really, I would recommend going to MTG Goldfish, looking at the metagame page, and you can see the prices of all the decks, how many wild cards it costs, and see if any of them catch your eye. Like, really, Sultai, Mono Red, Night Adventures, Temur Ramp, those I would all consider like the 4 best decks in Standard right now. And then you also have a lot of other options. Cycling, good. Other adventure builds, fine. Mono White has been really good. It's kind of tailed back off if people have adjusted to it, but it was really good. So yeah, it depends a little bit on your playstyle. Ooh, Ral combo. We have not rowled in a while. It's been a minute since there's been a rowling. Knight of Ottoman. I'm not 100% sure what our opponent's deck is doing. Is it like green-black counters? Let's take a light touch. Let's take a light touch. Bring in Knight of Autumn for our opponent's branching evolutions and just see what happens. Row combo. That looks fun. Tail spinner. I haven't played Row. Ooh, we got the branching evolution. I'm starting to feel like branching evolution is just like the best card in this deck. Llanowar Elves. Yeah, we could play Llanowar Elves. Land, Pellet Collector, go. Do I recommend, what do you recommend in Pioneer? Oh boy. I played a little bit more Pioneer recently, but I still have not played as much as I played in the past. I think there's a bunch of monocolor decks I think are good. Mono green, mono black, and then Gray Tenjay. Opponent's off to a bit of a faster start this game. So mono green, mono black are two. We're going to attack. If we can kill the Constrictor, it's worth it. Mono green, mono black. The Nivtilite decks are good. Sacrifice is good. Do you think we need snow? The Snow Hate God was good enough, or do we need more Snow Hate? Ooh, spicy. It's actually pretty good. Opponent goes beatdowns. Ouch. Oh, we're down to 12? Oh, we're dying. We're dying brutally. Alright. Well, opponent's turn to get off to the fast start, I guess. Kill Llanowar. Ooh, no attacks. Yeah, Llanowar is probably one of the better cards in Historic, honestly. I haven't seen Simic Flash in Historic. I mean, I've seen it infrequently in the like semi-distant past, but it's not a card that shows up regularly in Historic. Another Llanowar. Well, kill Stone Coil. Actually, kill one. If they have a pump spell, I'm going to be a little sad. They don't have black mana, so they shouldn't have removal. Alright. So we kill stuff. We drop to 10. Luminarch Aspirant. Tap land. Grow the Hydra. Gotta get big enough to eventually stop a Stone Coil Serpent. I guess we can double block again. If our opponent taps their black mana. What's the best new card and why is it Harmless Offering? Harmless Offering is definitely one of the most fun of the new cards. The best one's probably Death Shadow or Thraben Inspector. But Harmless Offering is top tier fun. Ooh, untap black mana. Oh, that's bad news. We're gonna need a really good draw here, like Hamza. Well, all right, play this. Double the counters. Pass the turn. We are holding on for dear life. Found it. Lad. Embodiment of Agonies. Now play the Great Henge. Hamza. No sneaky reach. No sneaky reach. This embodiment's gonna get us. Branching Evolution. Opponent hits us to 4. I'll play Branching Evolution. Go to combat attack. Opponent chumps. Hamza. Keep the new one. Oh, pass the turn. The problem is we're dying to Embodiment of Agonies of all things. I've never died to this card before. This is the first. Found it. We need a draw. We need a draw. The Great Henge will not save. Oh my god. Opponent got a draw. Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. Embodiment of Agonies. Whoever played an Embodiment of Agonies. Okay. Well, we've seen what our opponent's doing a little bit. We are going to go down one Hamza. We're going to go down one Mikaeus. We're going to go down one more Scourge. We're going to go up 2 Scavenging Oozes. And 2 Settle the Wreckages. You get to keep your Branching Evolutions. All right. Let's settle some wreckage. We're on the play. I think really the difference there was our opponent had multiple Llanowar Elves, and we did not. I'm not keeping that. Oh. Well, okay. That could have went worse mulligan-wise. Apocalypse! Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup for you. Thank you. All right. Sans decidedly medium. Medium to bad, but... Tap land. Well, no Llanowar is good. Play the land on white and the Conclave Mentor. Go. Boot it. Oh, I hate pathways. Ooh, that's a good draw. Pallet Collector. Stonecoil Serpent. I feel like our opponent has Fatal Push and they're waiting. Alright, there's a Fatal Push. Pass the turn. Opponent. Yeah, Snake and Mentor are very much the same card. Binding Constrictor. Well, Branching Evolution. Pass the turn. Opponent's untapping with a Constrictor, though. Oh! Opponent's hitting all the removals. Opponent, Lad. They also have a Branching Evolution. It doesn't even work. Man. Being short of land is going to probably cost us this game. Ugh. Land. Another winding constrictor. Embodiment of agonies. Opponent goes attacking. No blocks. Well, we drew a land finally. Fight a constrictor. Grow the stone coil. Go attacking. Wow, opponent snap trades. Alright. Can we beat a snake? Can we beat a snake? Land. What's the last card? Blessing of Frost. Okay. And my heart can't take losing to another embodiment. Goes attacking, no blocks. Down to 12. Opponent. Stone coil. Well, double the counters. Grow Voracious Hydra. No attacks. Oh, this is going to be close. Hey, what's up, Poopy Cat? How are you? Good to see ya. Opponent passing. Ooh, okay. Well, Pellet Collector. Stone Coil. Eight and 6. 8 and 6. So they can deal 14? Alright, opponent goes to 2. It all comes down to this. It all comes down to this. What does our opponent draw? We get a GG. Is that good? Is that bad? We get an emo. Oh! We survived the counter veer. Since we switched the deck, we actually won 3 in a row. Maybe this is the build of Hamza. We're kinda killing it now. So what do you think, chat? Would you like to... Hey, good game, meme mixtape. That was super close. Super close. So what do you think? Would you like to keep Hamzaing? Or I think the other option is... yeah, we could keep Elephants and Hydraing. Basically Historic Zoo. The other option we could try would be the Inscription of Abundance Turgid Fight Club deck. We can always play that one in the future as well. So, have you seen the Valky Release to the Wind deck? We played Valky with Release to the Wind a little bit. Sounds like people want to see some fighting. All right. Let me update update the deck command, and we can try some fighting. Turgrid's Fight Club. The Snyder Cut. Is that a album? Band? What's the Snyder Cut? All right, so this deck. Oh, Justice League. Is that... I know you're going to think I'm memeing. Is that part of the X-Men, though? Like, I honestly... I honestly don't. Oh, it's not. Okay. So wait, what's the Justice League then? Oh, so there's DC and then X-Men is Marvel. I know that. So it's kind of like East Coast rappers and West Coast rappers, sorta, and they are not connected really. I think I'm starting to understand the comic book world. I think I'm starting to figure it out. um, next up, we're gonna try to fight some things with Obliterator. So this is a deck that initially, I tried to have Death Shadow in here, and then I kept killing my Death Shadow because Gifted Aetherborn gains life. So I ended up cutting it. But really, the plan of this deck, we got a lot of Death Touch creatures. We got a bunch of fight spells. But the real payoff is Phyrexian Obliterator, fighting something to make our opponent sacrifice, hopefully with Turgid out of the battlefield to steal all of our opponent's permanents. That's the plan, that's the hope, that's the dream. Other reason excited about it is Inscription of Abundance, good against Death Shadow decks, lots of people Death Shadowing. And that's essentially the deck. Punch removal, some card draw on the sideboard. So, let's make him sack. Let's make him sack. Quird up, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for our new subscriber. So, what is a Snyder Cut then? So, I've heard of Justice League. I don't really know what that entails exactly, but so what makes a Snyder Cut special? When they say Super Friends, do you know what they're referencing? Yeah, it started back with like Jace, Gideon, Little Jace. You had two Jaces, you had Head Gideon. Like, kind of like Callblade era, there were Super Friends decks. Wait, does Super Friends come from a non-magic thing? It's not magic related? Oh, I assumed it was a magic thing. So wait, Justice League, did that come before or after the Justice League? Is it a ripoff of like the Gatewatch? I'm surprised Wizards hasn't sued them. That's got to be some sort of infringement. I did assume that Justice League was probably a reference to Justice League. I do enjoy trolling all of you, chat. But I also seriously do not know what this... Did not know. Now I do because y'all told me, but I also seriously did not know what the Snyder Cut was, or I could not name a member of the Justice League. Found it. Land. And. Passes. Two cards in hand. Could be a Coco again. I'll go attacking. Hit ya. Alright, no Coco. No Coco is good. Oh, chat, you know you love it. You know you love it. 4 hours and 40 minutes. What is that? Inspired by Lord of the Rings? Is that going to make it bad? Okay, so I'm not a Justice League fan. As a Justice League fan, is that something that excites you? Like, yeah, it's going to be awesome to have an extra 2 hours added onto it? Or is it something you're like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what the deal with this is. I guess we got to kill this, because apparently it's going to kill us. Kill that. Hit ya. Kanta, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you. Oh my goodness, I forgot. I gotta show you this. Oh no, it's behind my green screen. This is probably a horrible idea. Haha, the guitars are here. Hello everyone. There are shelves back here. A very awesome fan sent me the Sethrod, the Apex Sethrod. I mentioned on the podcast that I wanted one, and they actually sent me it with the full packaging, and also the Minotaur token to go with it. So now I'm actually gonna build the sweet Seth Rodneck paper. Super hyped about that. So huge shout out for the super awesome donation. Oh, that's not a Telecaster. Oh man, you. Oh boy, I gotta show you. It is maybe my favorite possession, and also probably the nicest magic related gift anyone's ever given me. I'll show you. All right, we'll bring down the green screen again in a minute. I'll show it off. I forgot that some of you maybe hadn't seen it before. It is like the coolest. It is the coolest. Let's finish this game though, and then I'll show you. Beat you down. I don't know about Jaspera Sentinel. I don't know how so many people are all about Jaspera Sentinels. Murderous Rider, go. Ooh, let me see, Josser. It is a Blood Moon guitar. About it. Oh, so Modern Sacrifice, I don't know about, I'm not 100% sold on the Carrion Feeder, or no. The Cauldron Familiar plan. But I do think that a zombie sacrifice deck like that is actually potentially pretty powerful in Modern. Well, attack you, hit you. Wow, this is working. Saltbrace, welcome to the Fishbowl. I can't believe this is working, but it is. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you. Yeah, getting hoofed is sort of a concern. I don't know if it's lethal, though, because we are up to 36 now. So is hoof even going to kill us? Realm Walker, off the top. Elvish Warmaster, also off the top. They need something with... Oh, this has reach. Well, they need another thing with reach, because we have a fight spell. Inscription. Actually, just kidding. Inscription with kicker. 1, 2, 3. 2 counters on you. Gain life. You, so many arrows. You fight the Reacher. Nice little rainbow of lethality. An opponent scoops it up. Can you imagine some of the new Strixhaven commands? I'm trying to think of the one. Like, what was the one that had so many modes? This one. So this one, you have, I guess this mode is what really gets me, Lorehold Command. I do not understand why they split it up. It's a Lightning Helix, but for some reason, you deal 3 damage, and then you get to choose which player gains life. I guess it's like a tiny slight upside for Commander, in case you want to like group hug an opponent or something. But it seems strange that it's an extra click on Arena, where now you have to like bolt something, and then you have to choose a player, and then you also have to choose like a permanent to sacrifice or whatever. So, I don't know. It seems like an unnecessary click. They do it so it doesn't fizzle the whole spell if a target is removed. Well, maybe if the target's removed, you deserve to have your spell fizzled. Or they could just change that rule, I guess, if that was a concern. Maybe that's what they were thinking. They knew they were going to put Historic Anthology. Oh, you know what I realized with Historic Anthology? I guess we should sideboard, shouldn't we? Legion's End, Witch's Vengeance, Languish, Noxious Grasp. Going down, couple of inscriptions, Temerat. 1 Turgid. Yeah, maybe go on 2 more inscriptions. Oh, we're going to time out. All right, let's try it like that. I realized Collective Conjuring looks really weird, but then the special cards from Strixhaven, the Mystic Archives, are all spells. So maybe it's a plant for the Strixhaven Mythic Archives or Mystic Archives. Mystical Archive. Man, I said that almost right like 5 different ways, but none were perfectly right. Mystical Archive, no plurals. But I was thinking, because a lot of times historic anthology does sort of connect to what's, oh boy, Two Witches Vengeance. I do not think elves can beat that if we can cast them. I mean, Sea of the True's pretty good. Wow, and another Wrath. When we played it, we were using it to power out Arclight Phoenixes. Although someone sent me a deck that had Metallurgic summonings that looked kind of cute. Yeah, we'll just get the mana. Hey, there we go. Show us that last show us that last Lanor. There we go. There we go. Got him. 2 for 1. Allosaurus Shepherd. Oh, I feel a concession. I feel a concession coming on here. I do. Elf. I say we pick Elf. An opponent scoops it up. Oh, well, we didn't get the full combo, but that was the... All right, Blood Moon Guitar. So this is seriously one of the nicest things anyone's ever given me. So this guitar, this is from Nash Guitars. And the story is... So the story is, they sent me a message, and they said, hey, Seth, we got something we want to send you. And I was like, oh, cool. So they send it to me. It actually comes along with pictures. The art is done by the actual artist who did Blood Moon. He even came down to the shop, and the pick guard here is a little bit played, but you can see the signature under here. He actually came down, the actual Blood Moon artist did the Blood Moon art on the front and the back and signed it, and they sent it to me, which is, it's so sweet. So seriously, shout out to the awesome people at Nash Guitars for building this Blood Moon guitar for me. Yeah, that is definitely one of the coolest Magic items that I personally have by far. And it sounds good. And I need an electric guitar, so. Yeah, I gotta double check the legality of playing on stream. With all this copyright stuff that's going on, I'm honestly not sure if you can just, like, play someone else's song on stream, or if they throw you in jail for that or something now. So I'm going to have to read a little bit more about how the copyright and DCMA stuff works. But it would definitely be fun to do. If you're doing your own version, it has to be fair use parody. Covers are totally legal, so you can legally play covers on Twitch. I mean, I know from playing in bands that, I don't know if you've ever played in bands, but if you go and play at like a random bar or something, bars that are trying to do it like by the book will actually tell you that you can't do covers, because for you to play a cover with your band at their bar, they are supposed to have paid for the performance rights. So some of the places you'll play at will actually tell you, like, you can't do any covers. And this was before Twitch. This was like 10 years ago or something, like a while ago that I was playing in band. So that's actually, like, even playing live music, like at bars, there's actually, or maybe they just thought the covers sucked and they didn't want us to play them. That's also possible. So they just made it up. Would you ever play guitar with Grim? Yeah, that could be fun. The only downside is we're like on the opposite sides of the country, so it would have to be when we meet up. Maybe when they bring back GPs next. Maybe next GP Vegas we'll have a Goldfish concert. We'll talk to Channel Fireball or whoever's running them at that point, and and see if we can do a Goldfish concert. Get one of the side rooms. Okay. Let's say we do a Tiny Fish concert. What real songs would work best for the environment? Like what covers would work well for a GP? They got to be related to fish or to magic in some way, or at least like in a way that you could justify them. Oh, so do actual like do like Remy songs? Do have you ever listened to Patrick Chapin's rap album? We could probably cover like Jace the Mind Sculptor better than all. That album still cracks me up. If you've never heard Jace the Mind Sculptor better than all, it was actually the Chapin album. Actually, is so funny because it's not even like Remy does parodies. It was just a straight up original rap album about a straight up original rap album all about magic topics. It wasn't parodies or covers, like it was all magic related, but it was just like Chapin's original tunes. We will, you know what? We will pull it up. I'm gonna pull up the video after this match because y'all got to see Jason. It was by the Gathering. THA Gathering with no G. Oh yes, it was obvious. The album came out in the Callblade era, of course. So keep that in mind. It was a product of its time, I would say. But yeah, it came out during the Callblade era. Yeah, this is Fight Club with Turgid. Turgid Fight Club. I think we'll actually play this song. I don't think Patrick's gonna DCM. I don't think Chapin's gonna DCMA us for listening to The Gathering on stream. About it. Oh, did I say? Maybe I about it. Draws a card. How is this ending? What is this? Is this control? Just weird control? Yeah, Chapin might have to come back into a part 2 about Oko. Because the original is no longer true. Jace the Mind Sculptor is definitely not better than all anymore. Ether Spellbomb. Now, Swamp. Go to combat. Hit card. No pump. Nighthawk Scavenger. Tamaret. Go. Can we close out this game? What is our opponent like? Artifact control? I don't even know what our opponent's trying to do. I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know if I don't think Chapin's album was on a actual like label. I'm pretty sure it was not. Huh? Wow, so this is just control with a bunch of random artifacts. Alright, well, I guess we're dead. Fair enough. Huh. Is this a real deck, or is this a weird brew that our opponent's playing? I have not seen control like this. Well, bad news for Fight Club is For a Fight Club to do anything, it does require the opponent to have creatures to fight, or it kind of defeats the whole purpose of the fight plan. Are we dead? I mean, we weren't literally dead, but our opponent had a Karn we couldn't deal with. They had 2 counters to stop our threats, and they had either Ugin or Sphinx's Revelation. Either, like, refill their hand or play an Ugin, neither of which we can beat. So, it was going to take several turns for us to, like, actually die, but I don't think there was any realistic pathway to winning that game from there. Huh. Well, okay. So I guess that makes all the random artifacts make a little bit more sense. Opponents trying to Inspiring Statuary. Inspiring Statuary, random artifacts, Revelation Suite. So we're gonna get Doomscarred. Alright, take Statuary, go. No Grey Merchant. We could theoretically Grey Merchant, but we do not currently have any Grey Merchants. Alright, Gifted Etherboard. Go. Opponent. Yeah, this is a deck that really wants to play against creature decks. Not spell decks as much. I'll take the Rev. You know what? Let's play this untapped and grow. Yeah, alright. I mean, we're going to get Doomscarred, but hopefully this forces the Doomscar, and then we draw land and can Obliterator, and maybe Obliterator gets there. Put it. Well, alright, Obliterator. Go. You would have just taken the Doomscar? I feel like... Maybe taking Inspiring Statuary is too greedy. I feel like with how our opponent's deck's built, I feel like Inspiring Statuary is like their build around most important card. Alright, opponent bounces Obliterator. And then Sphinx's Revelation, when our opponent resolves it, essentially just closes out the game. I'm not sure our opponent has any... Well, we haven't seen any creatures. Oh, jeez. Well, they drew another one off the top, so apparently it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Yeah, well, not looking good. Maybe we should play decks that are... Maybe we should play decks that are designed to be good against control decks sometime. Just to punish these decks. But it's a relatively small part of the meta. Oh my god. Pretty close to just shame scooping. These are like the worst cards in our entire deck by far. Either Spellbomb. Well, is their last card a counter? Seems possible. Alright, so Arena resolves. Put it. Oh, Uro's out of here, finally. So, no Uros to worry about. We're probably going to be scooping pretty soon, though. 2 to the bottom. Put it. Tap land passes. Well, we get to draw an extra card. Alright. You know what? Let's kill ourselves a bit. Cast a Lockway. Well, we got those lands out of the way, so that's a good thing. No, I mean, we're not going to scoop until our opponent plays the thing we can't beat, but once they play an Ugin or something, then that just does it. We have nothing going on. Maze Mind's Tome. Chevelle. I don't play Chevelle. I mean, I guess at least Primal Might is a pump spell. That's sort of something. At least it could maybe make a creature big. Pass the turn, see if our opponent can find another Wrath. Opponent. To the top. And... do I think control match is big for bad content? That's been the feedback that I think I've mostly gotten from. Well, that's my impression of how my audience reacts to them. Yes, I think they tend to be really long and nothing really happens in them, for the most part. Like, especially if you're someone who has not been playing Magic for a long time and doesn't appreciate like the intricacies of trying to interact on the stack, or like holding onto a Thoughtseize so you could try to resolve a spell through your opponent's 20 counter spells. But in general, I think that yeah, it's not the most appealing content for the most of the audience. Well, Necromentia. If our opponent ever makes a token, that would be sweet. We'll name Ugin the Spirit Dragon. Get a look at this. Wow, they were... Oh, wow, we're going to win because... Why in the world did they not cast that? And this makes our opponent get a token. Wow, that is absurdly helpful. Oh, we're going to win the game because of that. Why did they cast it? I mean, I guess they could draw into a counter. All right, let's look at this. Syncopates, like 8 Wraths, random artifacts, 3 Ugids. So it's just like every Wrath, a bunch of removal, trying to Inspiring Statuary into Ugins and Sphinx's Revelations. All right. Wow, that's hilarious that worked. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, fight it. Oh, opponent. I don't know. What do you think, chat? Do you think that control matchups are entertaining or boring content-wise? Opponent leaves 2 on top. Unfortunately, our opponent only has to sack 2 permanents, I think. Draws a card. Draws a card. Oh my god, so they drew another Wrath? Really? Well, I mean, they're playing 8 Wraths somehow, so I guess that's not a shock. Opponent plays a land. Wrath number 75. Well, Nighthawk Scavenger. Temerat. Come on. Can we get Wrath number 76? I just like Magic. I like control matchups for different reasons. Aggro mid-range. Opponent. Can draw a card. Yeah, I think that control matchups are fun to play. Control matches are either the most or the least interesting. There's no middle ground. That's a pretty interesting way to look at it. I think that makes sense. Opponent. Wait, how's our opponent winning the game now? Oh, they chopped that card. Okay. Boy. Boy, oh boy. Oh, yeah, I still think that we just lose this. God Pharaoh's statue. So our opponent can gain 8 life. Which means these Primal Mites are not going to do it. And then we're going to lose to... 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we make this 11 power. That doesn't do anything. You cannot Primal Might a Planeswalker, unfortunately. Only fights. Well... Primal Might. Kill the card. Play Obliterator. Opponent draws a card, gains life. Eventually they're going to hit Sphinx's Revelation. And then they have their entire deck in their hands, and we can't really come back. Opponent, up to 12. Can go up to 16 any second. Well, I mean, they have 2 tomes that they can... They have 2 tomes that they can activate, so they can gain 4 more at any time. Opponent. Yeah, I mean... We can gain a little bit of life. We have a bunch of Agadeem's Awakenings that I would like to leave on, but we can probably eat, like... redundant stuff. Like 1 Knight and 1 Obliterator. Unless we get super desperate. Opponent's choices to play and not play things are very odd to me. Alright, well, eat. We didn't see Settle the Wreckage, right? Land and more lands. 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. You know what? We're going for it. 5, 6, 7. We gotta go 9. Alright. Yep. Primal Might. Opponent. Thinking it over. They drew a Syncopate. Well, hit ya. Draws a card, gains life. Up to 16, down to 9. Well, I mean, all we need is lethal. I don't think there's any reason to go lethal +1 when lethal kills our opponent. Turgid might actually be pretty good here. Go to combat, attack. The backside of Turgid actually seems really helpful at the moment. Like, that might allow us to win this game. Opponent's going to sack and bounce, blah, blah, blah. Down to 7. Lantern. Opponent, make your choice. Oh! Well, that's certainly game. Yeah. Well, that was a good try. Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, I guess we passed the turn. I mean, hard to imagine our opponent not being able to win with 8 cards in hand and a ton of life. All right, fair enough. Sure. That was a really frustrating match. I will admit that was a really frustrating match. Oh boy. Yeah, that was a half hour of our lives we're not getting back. I mean, I think the frustrating part is that our opponent top decked Sphinx's Revelation the turn before they were dead. That's the part that I found to be especially frustrating. Because if it wasn't for that, I think we were in fine shape. Oh boy. All right. Well, at least it's a creature deck. Unfortunately, our opponent has multiple collected companies in hand, and that is one of the best cards to exist in this format. Good news is if we hit our lands, we do have Obliterator and Fight spells, and that should be good. We even have Turgid, so there's a chance, if we're alive, that we might be able to pull off the full combo here if we keep hitting lands. That's the dream. Like, keep drawing lands, Obliterator, Turgid, Primal Might. The dream could be lived. There's still a chance. There's still a chance. About it. Land, so we know Coco's coming next turn. Hopefully they didn't top deck Righteous Valkyrie. Glasspool Mimic on Bad Little Angel hits us. Sure. Well, go attacking. Oh, we need lands. We need lands. We got Obliterator and 2 fight spells. Do we find lands? That is the game. That is the entire game. Any chance you'll be trying the Historic Shakeup? I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. What are they shaking up in Historic this time? Seriously? Well, that is... that is the absolute best things our opponent could hit. Up to 25. Their things are huge. They go attacking. We do not draw land. Well... I mean, on second thought, if Coco's fine for Historic, probably put an Ether Vial. At first I was like, Ether Vial is probably too good. But the more I think about it, is Ether Vial actually even better than Collected Company? I don't think it's as straightforward as yes. Like, could it be? Sure, but is it? I don't think you could just say that. I mean, there's a lot of modern decks that choose to play... There's a lot of modern decks that choose to play Coco over Ether Vial. About it. I guess that's a interesting amount of draws here for our opponent. About it. He goes attacking. Well, we block. And then we fight. So fight that. Kill that. We really gotta draw removal. We gotta draw it like now-ish. Well, now we draw the land. A little late to the party. Oh, boy, we couldn't find the land for the Obliterator. We had to use all of our fight spells, and our opponent drew 4 Youthful Valkyries. I think Wizard said that if Coco was printed in the current era and was as good as it was in Standard, it almost certainly would have been banned. So yeah. We are dead now. So yeah, that's I think that Coco was printed in the era when cards didn't get banned in Standard. Like, when Coco was printed, bannings just didn't happen. But in the era when cards get banned every other month or every month or whatever, I have no doubt that a collecting company would have been banned. Like, 100%. 100% that's what would have happened. Well, that was an interesting draw. Collecting Company is quite the card in our opponent's deck. Yeah, I mean, it was like in the conversation back in the era when cards just didn't get banned. And I'm pretty sure if you read back through old Wizards articles, when they wrote one, I can't remember what article it was, but they wrote one in response to a conversation about how much banning there was, and Collected Company, I'm pretty sure if I remember it right, was specifically one of the cards they called out that, like, if we were banning cards then like we are now, it probably would have got banned. I mean, I like Coco as a card. I think that Coco... I don't even necessarily dislike Coco in Historic, but my question with Historic is always from... Really? That's your hand? Okay. Well, I guess we're dead. Unsure how we beat 2 Righteous Valkyries. I don't think we do. Well, get in with a knight. Hit ya. When it comes to Historic, that's kind of why I want... that's kind of why I would like to see more stuff released into the format. Like, when it comes down to it, it's not the cards that are in the format that I have an issue with. It's why are we keeping cards out of the format? Like, why is... I would love to hear Wizards' thoughts on it, or Wizards' explanation. Like, why is Coco okay, but Ether Vial isn't? Or why is Thoughtseize okay, but Path to Exile isn't? So it's not so much that I think cards shouldn't be in the format. It's that, like, if these cards are in the format, how come you keep telling us that all these other cards aren't? Like, why does red have to, or white have to have Declaration in Stone, but black can have Thoughtseize? Like, that's the part that is confusing to me about Historic. And I haven't really been able to figure out what Wizards is thinking or doing. Unfortunately, I don't think we can beat 2 Righteous Valkyries. Opponent. I mean, at least we're getting our opponent lowish on life. If we draw some removal, we got a shot. Oh, well, if there's one thing I don't trust Wizards on, it's data. My feeling when it comes to data, this is the same reason I have a hard time with market price from TCG Player, but when it comes to data, if you go out of your way to, like, not be transparent about data and go out of your way to hide data, then I will view anything you say about data skeptically. Because I feel like if you're going to use data in your arguments, then the data should be public so everyone can look at it. And if you're going to hide data... Wow, there's a weird string of Youthful Valkyries on the top of our opponent's deck. But if you're going to go out of your way and hide data, then then I'm going to be skeptical about any data that you release. So I tend to view anything Wizard says about data skeptically, just because I know how hard they try to hide data and keep other people from putting data out there. So we get it for 9, but then our opponent is going to gain a lot. What possible outs do we have? Well, all right. Hit you for 9. Play Chevelle. Grow the Knights. Opponent untaps. So they're going to 10 for sure. Oh, we haven't done any removal. In stats, we use a Nova to detect falsified data when a limited set is released. Have you considered trying to do the same? I haven't. So I should be clear. I'm not saying that I think Wizards falsifies data, because I don't think that's true. But I think that what my take is since the data is not public, it's very easy with data that's hidden to selectively release data that supports your viewpoint and then not release the data that doesn't support your viewpoint or your argument. So I don't think Wizards falsifies data, but I do think Wizards gets to control what data makes it out into public. So I think that they get to make determinations about that. Well, go attacking. See what our opponent chooses to do. Opponent blocks. And wait, aren't they? Did our opponent just choose death? Did they not read the Knight of the Even Legion? Okay, opponent did choose death. We'll take it. Oh, so that's kind of my thinking. Yeah, I guess our opponent probably wasn't expecting the double pump. Oh, those angels. I wonder why Righteous Valkyrie hasn't caught on more in Standard. Righteous Valkyrie's been so good in Historic. We played it in Budget in Modern. I wonder why it has not caught on in Standard, though. It's strange that that's the format where it tends to be least played. My view is, how does it benefit them to make decisions that don't line up with what the data tells them? Even if they don't release it, they still have the information. So, an example, what would be a good example of what I'd be thinking of? That sounds fine, I guess. A little bit tap-landy, but not bad. Aggressive. We haven't done much fight clubbing. A third of the console. Well, let's start with the Thoughtseize. How do they always have a collected company at Righteous Valkyrie? Every game they have multiples of those in hand. Youthful Valkyrie off the top. Well, Knight of the Human Legion. Opponent gains a life. Castle Lockblade. How do they always have this hand? Land off the top? The Speaker of Heavens. Yeah, I think bannings are some of the, well, I would consider to be the easiest examples. So, like, let's say Wizards wants whatever. They want Oko to remain unbanned for a couple more months because they got to sell more packs of Throne of Eldraine. Let's say that's what Wizards thinking. And they have a bunch of data. They can choose the data that kind of supports that argument. They can focus on, well, Golos is winning a lot, so we're going to ban Golos, but, kind of gloss over, leave out, like, the Oko stats or whatever. So I think That's kind of the power of having the non-public stats, I would say. Well, Primal Might. You fight you. Cheval's a good fighter. Ooh, and we draw the land too. I'll play the land. Knight of the Eben Legion. Also Knight of the Eben Legion. And hit ya. Can we beat a Youthful Valkyrie? What do you think about cards, what do you think about cards like Youthful Valkyrie? What do you think about cards like Youthful Valkyrie that are coming from like theme boosters and so forth, actually being playable? Like you can see, it's an uncommon, but it's a $4 uncommon in the paper world because it's only in theme boosters. Well, I guess counter on Resplendent Angel. Noxious Grasp it. Land. Ooh. I'll go attacking. About it. I mean, we're fighting a good fight. The Cheval is doing work. This might be the best Cheval has ever been. Cheval is the bane of angels at the moment. Linvala grows the angel. And about it. Are we staying frisky? Ooh, opponent's staying aggro. Cheval's gonna keep doing the work. Yeah, Cheval is. We were talking about cards that can snowball earlier. Maybe Cheval is on the list. It does require having removal spells, but still. Murderous Rider. We draw a card and gain life. Evil Gara. Oh, not a land. Well, go attacking. Grow the Knights. I think we're winning, and this is against one of the best decks in Historic. Evil Gara, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Opponent, land, add. Resplendent Angel Part 2. Hits us. Well, counter on Resplendent Angel. We are kind of getting low on life. Well, I guess there's no way we can win here, right? 2, 4, 6, 7. Well, I guess we gotta cash in our Cheval. Alright, see if we can actually resolve this. You. Fight you. Draw a card, game life. Oh, that's a painful land. Go to combat, attack. Ooh. Yeah, down to 11. Give it to the either board. No Go-Go's. No Go-Go's, please. Grow the dorks. About it. A taps. Come on. Come on. We got one more fight spell left. Soul Word for our opponent. Not an angel. Resplendent Angel. Is an angel. Grows the dorks. About it. In a pretty fragile spot. Gonna stay aggressive. Hits us to 5. Well, we draw land. We go to So if we fight and then pump an unblocked one, we win, right? Fight the angel. Attack, 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 attack. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Um, well, our fight spells have been good. Fight Resplendent Angel. Go to combat. Attack. An opponent knows they're dead, and they are, and that, all right, one more try. We are kind of ranking up, but we haven't got the Fight Club combo. One more try, and then I gotta upload the podcast. See if we get the Turgid Fight Club. Patrick Sullivan released a video today calling Knight of the Eben Legion one of the coolest designs in the last few years. It is pretty good. Remove Turgid. That's the whole point. It's Turgid's Fight Club. You can't take Turgid out of his Fight Club. What are the topics on the podcast? We talk about what we were talking a little bit about earlier with the outside assistance debate on Arena. Is streaming somehow cheating in a tournament? Is it worth even fighting about? Is there any way Wizards could even enforce a rule if they wanted to? So we talk about that. We talk about a little bit about Modern Horizons, since we got the Modern Horizons 2, since we got the release date. A little bit about what cards we would like to see in it, and then the Japanese promos, like Bassery and Vito and whatnot, and then Fishmail. I think that's the main overview. Yeah, it was a discussion that came up yesterday on Twitter as to, I mean, is streaming cheating? That was my paraphrasing of it. But the idea was basically like, if you're playing a tournament and you're streaming without any delay, in theory, Twitch chat could be helping you, and then is that like essentially cheating? Or would that be considered cheating if it was in paper? Is it against the rules online? Can you enforce it even? We changed up the Hamza build a little bit, but it was actually pretty sweet. I don't think anyone was debating that for like playing on the ladder or anything. It was more geared towards playing in tournaments, arena tournaments. Now we got the Obliterator, and we got the Turgid. We'll see. Pone's probably Death Shadow Egg. Swiggles! Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super tier for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Do you feel that chat is helpful? I feel that chat is nice. I think very highly of all of you. I consider you all friends. Helpful would helpful be the first word. There's many good virtues and characteristics of chat. Let's focus on those. No, I mean, okay, so my actual take is chat helpful? The answer is sort of. Like, is chat helpful? Sometimes. But I think when you consider streaming as a whole, where I'm talking to you and we're talking about is streaming helpful, rather than like focusing on, playing Magic optimally, overall, my win percentage goes down meaningfully from... My win percentage go down pretty meaningfully when I'm streaming or making content, compared to if I'm just playing on my own. So, I would say, can chat be helpful? Yes. But I think that active streaming as a whole is a negative if your goal is to, like, win a tournament. If that makes sense. In part because there's just so much going on in chat when you have 500, 1,000, 1,500 people in chat, where there is some helpful advice, but then there's also just emotes and random off-topic conversations. And then there's also some, like, straight-up unhelpful advice. Or people who are just trying to, like, learn, essentially. And trying to figure things out and learning through watching the stream. So it's a little bit of everything. I'll play this. Aghanim's Awakening. We really need a fight spell. Like, desperately. Now get back our dorks. Hit you with Obliterator. We need a fight spell if we're going to have any chance of beating this demon. If we can fight the demon, oh my god. Like Primal Might off the top, or Primal whatever, Primal Surge. It would be so good. It would be so good. Oh, I don't think that you cause my puns. Not at all. I would punt with or without you, chat. Don't give yourself that much credit. Fortnus, welcome to the fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Archfiend's Vessel Part 2. Opponent gets in with the demon down to 7. Well, Murderous Rider's kind of interesting. So let's get him a Gifted Etherborn. Gain back some life. Up to 9. Opponent. But with emotes, you could have some sort of like Morris code. Like if you really wanted outside assistance, you could be like, hey, if you think I should mulligan, give me a Scoops cheer. If you think I should keep, give me a whatever. So no, I wasn't talking about Morse code. Of course, I was talking about a different code made by Morris. Of course, yes. You might not have heard of it. Wikipedia. Give it a look. Opponent passes. Ooh, Temeret's actually insane here. You know what? We're gonna be aggressive. Go to combat. Smack you, smack you. You know what? If you want to block everything, that's fine. Smack you, smack you, smack you. Here we come. Obliterating your phase. Wow, opponent's... Why does everyone choose to die to this 5? Why does everyone choose to die to this? I don't get it. How many historic players just choose to straight up die to Knight of the... We played like 3 or 4 matches with this deck, and that's the second player that has just snap, not blocked, a lethal Knight of the Ebon Legion. That's the second time that's happened. Alright, so. Probably Grafdigger's Cages. Yeah, I mean, what's the best black 1-drop? Knight of the Ebon Legion? Like, in the history of Magic. I think there's an argument that it could be. I'm trying to think of what else would be on the list of best black 1-drops in the history of the game. Death Shadow. So it's got to be a creature. Like Thoughtseize or Vampire Tutor is better, but I think only creatures. So I think that they would be excluded. Not Banehound. Cryptmaker is very good. Oh, Viscera Seer is actually a decent choice. I don't think it quite keeps up with Llanowar's not Llanowar's not black though. Ooh, Deathrite. Do we count hybrid cards? I mean, are we playing by Magic rules or Commander rules? Because if it's Commander rules, then Deathrite, it can't be included, obviously. But if we're playing by Magic rules, Deathrite does actually have a claim to the #1 shot. This is a good Turgid matchup too. What are we trimming? Temeret's good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, try it like that. Gravecrawler's very good. Carnophage used to be kind of good. I mean, that was the original... That was the first two-powered 1-drop in black, right? I think. Oh, man. I'm thinking of, what do you think about this for a top 10 list, chat? So, I've been doing top 10 lists once in a while. What do you think of top 10 cards you won't believe actually used to be good? I was just randomly looking through old deck lists the other day from like early mid 90s, and these were like worlds slash pro tour level deck lists. And some of the cards that would show up in those lists was just like absolutely blowing my mind. Obviously, it's because the card pool was a lot smaller back then and blah, 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 blah. But it really sort of blows my mind. Some of the cards that that used to be good enough to actually see play, that by today's standards, it's just like, they're pretty laughable, some of them. Yeah, like it really is. It's really funny. Oh, opponent. Uh, okay. Yeah, Crocs is us. Well, counter on that. Ooh. Oh, oh, that's Obliterator with a fight spell. Nighthawk Scavenger. Oh, we're close. We are close. We don't have the Turgid, but we will settle for Obliterator Primal Might if we have to. What do you got about it? What do you got about it? Really? And you got the sacrifice thing? Opponent. Wow. Okay. Awkward. Now, Obliterator. Innocent. That was a combo that I have not seen. Steal your creature Innocent Blood. That's a sweet synergy, I guess. Gets Aluris. Well. Kill that. Gifted Etherborn. Hit ya. Opponent's got too many disposable things to sack. We need a bigger creature to hit. About it. Untaps. So I have to claim the firstborn, but nothing to do with it. Hey, what's up, Orstar? Any tips for a new player coming to the game for the first time? Oh, welcome, Orstar. Have fun with it. Like, that's the most important thing. That gets lost sometimes, I think. Like, we play Magic because it's fun. So do what you have fun. But as far as more like technical tips, if you like Limited, can be a good way to build your collection on Arena. On Arena in specific, try to figure out a deck that you want to play, and then build towards that deck. If you maybe this is good enough. Try to build towards a deck that you want to play. Rather than just spending your wildcards randomly. Fight you. Sack one. Could have put 2 counters on our opponent's creatures and then fought it to make them sack more. Might have been worth considering in a weird way. And know if you're free to playing, it's going to take a bit to build the decks that you want. Play as much as possible. Arena does a really good job of guiding you through learning the game if you're new to it. So that's definitely one of the biggest upsides to Arena, I would say, is I've been teaching I've talked about this a few times, but I've been teaching my little nephew to play, and he's been able to pick up Arena pretty well. Well, let's fight you. Opponent. Done. But even, I mean, he's never played Magic before, and he's been able to pick it up and learn playing arenas, so, well, we didn't, so what do you think about Turgid in this deck? What do you think about these decks in general, I guess? If you actually look at these decks, we have, So what do we learn? What did we learn today? And then I gotta go upload the podcast because it's Monday. Good news is, hey, what's up, Kuko? And we will raid someone momentarily too, so stick around for the raid. So what did we learn today? We learned our new build of Hamza, I think, was much better. Focusing more on Hamza, focusing on branching evolution. Venerated Loxodon didn't feel good, but I still got hopes for Hamza. We got off to a slow start with it, but once we changed the build, added a sexy Clexy, added branching evolution, added more X spells, then the deck was actually sweet. And branching evolution is, it is quite a card. What do we learn about Fight Club? I think we gotta play it more. I feel like Tergrid still could have a spot in this deck, and I feel like it's going to get sacrificed. Duo Kid, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I feel like it's still got a good home in this deck, potentially. We got to play more games with it to figure it out, though. Like, we didn't pull off the actual combo of, like, Obliterator, Fight Spell, and Tergrid, but the deck was winning, and the deck actually felt pretty successful. So, whether that's because of Tergrid or in spite of Tergrid, maybe it's in spite of Tergrid, but Tergrid's still fun, so, yes, I guess we shouldn't be talking about it. That is the first rule, after all. So, anyway, we will be back, I don't know, 21 hours from now, 2 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow, another afternoon stream. Tomorrow, I'm not sure what we're playing yet. I do know Thursday is release day for Times Power Remastered, so we'll definitely be playing Constructed tomorrow. Historic, maybe probably not standard, maybe modern or something, but we're playing Constructed tomorrow, and then the next stream on Thursday evening, Times Power Remastered pre-release draft stream. So we'll be able to check out Times Power Remastered, get some cool Ord Border cards, see what the format's like. So limited stream on Thursday, and then also, I don't know if this has been announced yet, but on Friday, has Tomer announced anything about his Friday stream yet? I don't know. Do you want a sneak peek? I don't know if Tomer's announced this or not. Friday, we have a special stream over on Tomer's channel, the Commander YouTube, and we're going to be joined by some WotC, someone who is influential with Times Power Remastered, coming to join us for a game of Commander. The one and only Gavin Verhey is going to join us. So I think it's going to be me, Krim, Tomer, and Gavin for a special like pseudo Commander Clash live stream, talking about Times Power Remastered and all that kind of fun stuff, playing Old Border Commanders. So that's going to be a bonus stream at 6 on Friday. So tons of stream this week. Otherwise, replay YouTube, that's where you find the old streams. Normal YouTube, check out today's Budget Magic, Egon Stompy, it's sweet. Our sponsor today is Card Kingdom. And if you need some magical cards, maybe you haven't got your Times Power Remastered stuff yet. Maybe you need Mercadian Masquerade from Reckoning, or a Frank St. Alter, or a Pepizora, you get them at cardkingdom.com. Even get a free Scoop Soldier sticker. Just let them know you want one in your order notes. Most importantly, we got another sub, Flux. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Most importantly, thank you to all of you. You all are amazing and awesome. Thanks for hanging out, for the puns and the jokes and the trolling. Y'all are awesome. Come back tomorrow to have some more fun. Seriously, everyone, have a great night. Great Monday night, a great Tuesday morning, and we'll be back Tuesday, 2 Eastern. Remember the time change. We changed the clocks in the U.S. this weekend. So if you didn't change your clocks, it would be 1 hour later than normal until you change the clocks wherever you leave. So until then, everyone, have a great night. I'm going to go upload the podcast, and I'll see you tomorrow.